everybody, Bart here, Bart's Wood Shop. I know I've said that I was going to get some more videos posted in this year, but it's been a bit crazy and hectic, and sorry I haven't had a chance to get too many things posted here. But I got some plans for you all today. I'm going to be doing something I haven't done before, and we're going to try something new. I just finished doing a remodel in my bathroom, my house, and some other projects, which is really the biggest reason I haven't even been out here in the shop at all. So I'm glad that everything's pretty much done. I can get back out here to the shop doing what I enjoy doing and making videos for y'all. One thing I'm going to try today is I'm going to try to make a pen. Now, a lot of guys start off with wood turning pens. I personally have never tried it. My wife bought me a pen kit. We're going to try it. I've even got some directions, which I don't normally read or use just because, you know, that's what men do. We just take directions and toss them. But anyhow, so I'm going to get started. We're going to get you over here and show you what we're working on and see if this thing works. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it'll be a terrible fail. Either way, you'll be entertained. We'll see in a little bit. Alright, so we're over here at the lathe. I've got my little pen blanks that I'm going to use here. This was a piece of Crepe Myrtle. It's got some really neat little spalting through it, so hopefully it's going to make a pretty pen. But we're going to give it a whirl. Now, most pen makers I've seen, I watched some videos, they will get a pen vise, and it sits on top of their drill press, and the bit goes in there and keeps it perfectly straight so that they can drill a hole through the center, and it gets it centered. I don't have a pen vise, but I figured what else to use to make it centered other than my lathe. So I put these little finger jaws here in my Nova chuck, and we're going to put this blank right here in the chuck. See about centering it up, and that should be centered. Now this bit is specifically made for these pens, so we're going to give it a try. We'll see what happens. Let's lock it in place and see if I can drill a hole. And it sounds like I went through. Nope. But darn close. That's alright, we'll put it back in. Okay, I'm sure that went through. Now, according to the directions, these pen blanks are supposed to be 3/4 of an inch square. And the directions said 2 1/4 inch long for each two parts of this particular pen that I'm making. And that hole looked pretty centered. So we're going to do it again on the second one. Okay, now according to the directions, we need to rough the surface of these tubes, which I'm assuming are these here, with 180 grit sandpaper. And then they need to be inserted in here and glued into place. So, let's see. I got a little piece of 180 right here. And we're just going to rough the surface up a little bit, like the directions say. Not sure how rough, but I think that's all right. It's odd, I've never worked on anything this tiny. Most of my lathe projects are bigger, but this ought to be interesting. I always wanted to make a pen. Okay, that looks pretty rough. So now we're going to use our CA glue, and we are going to put some CA here on the tube itself. And some down here in the hole. And I guess we just push the two pieces together. Okay, that didn't seem too hard. Do it again. And I think I just glued my finger to the tube. Man, I hate CA glue. I am stuck. CA glue is terrible. Let's put the lid on it before I get it over anything else. And I didn't need that skin. Alright. So now the tubes are in. I'm assuming we need to let them sit for a minute, because that CA is going to need a minute to dry. So, the directions next say squaring the blank to length. When squaring the blanks to length, work only to the brass and not beyond. Removing brass will affect the overall length of the blank, which is critical to proper operation of the pen. Okay. Alright, we're over here at the drill press, and I got this little reamer to fit on this drill bit here. Seems to be a good tight fit. So what we need to do now is we need to remove that wood and get all the way down to the brass fitting. So this side here seems to be pretty close. I might take it down with a little bit of sandpaper. But this side here, we got a little bit of wood to go before we get to the brass. And we got to get rid of the wood, but not any of the brass. Otherwise, it's not going to fit properly. So, we're going to just take it real slow, little by little. Just kind of use this clamp so I could hold on to the piece here. Almost. I think we got it. That's pretty darn close. I'm not sure if you can see that or not, but we're right up to the brass. And then these little wings, we'll trim those off later. So I'm going to go do the same thing with the next piece, and we'll be right back. Okay, so I got my pen mandrel on here. Got my little end stop I just put on. And now we are ready to put these blanks on here. So it looks like we got to put these little spacers. And then the first pen blank. And then another spacer. And pen blank number 2. And then the last spacer. And this little end nut. And I guess we just tighten it down accordingly. Okay, it feels pretty tight. I'm going to have to put the tailstock live center back on to add a support to this end. Give it a little tighten up. That's it. Okay, they are round. I really like the spalting in this wood. It looks nice. And now I got to start shaping them for the pen. Now, this is a relatively slim pen, thus the slim style pen and pencil kit it says on it. So I'm going to take a look at the diameter of that center ring and kind of use that to eyeball about where the pen belongs as far as the width goes. Okay, I feel like I removed enough material with that. We're going to switch to the skew. Whoops, wrong tool. Sorry about the camera shake there. That's what happens when you bump into the tripod. Okay, let's move on to the skew. Oh yeah, much better. Okay. Now this is going to be the bottom part of the pen that you actually hold in your hand, so I'm going to want this to be a little bit wider in the middle. So, but I'm going to have to taper it to the ends because it's going to need to even up with the pen tip. far as the profile goes, I'm pretty happy with that. I think it's time to start sanding this thing down and making it look nice. Take my little bar out of the way here. And we're going to start sanding. Start with a piece of 100 grit here. Kind of get all that fuzz off that we started with. Oh yeah, that's going to be a pretty pen. We're on up to 600. Well, that's looking real good. Now I'm going to put a little coat of sanding sealer on here before I go any further. What that's going to do is it's going to help raise the grain up. Hang on, where's my little towel at? Move this banjo out of the way. Lay my little towel down so I don't get any finish on my lathe itself. Put a little sanding sealer on it. And that's going to raise up the grain a little bit, make it a little easier to sand down. And it slightly penetrates the wood. Okay. Back to the 600. Oh, that's nice. This feels real smooth. It's got a nice feel to it. I like it. Now, most of the pen turning videos I've watched, these guys tend to use a CA glue to finish it. So that's what I think we're going to do here. I've never used CA to finish anything before, but why not? It's like anything else. We'll try it. Oh, that looks pretty good. I'm digging that. Let that dry for a minute, and then we'll put another coat or two on, or 3 or 7, or whatever it takes. Whew. That is pretty. Probably gonna have to wet sand it. Get a real good shine out of it. Okay, so the CA has had some time to dry. Got my little cup of water here and my, what is this, 2000 grit sandpaper. We're just going to polish up this CA glue and see if we can't get a nice little finish on this. Get my sandpaper all wet. Okay, that looks pretty decent. Some little lines in there. I wonder if I use a little polishing paste on that, if it'll shine it up a little bit nicer. Okay, that's definitely getting there now. Okay. Move on to the fine polishing paste. It looks really nice and shiny. I think I'm happy with that. And now it's time to assemble this pen. Okay, here are our parts and pieces. And these are all of the pieces of the pen that need to get laid out. I'm kind of just laying them out like the directions show here. And then it's just a matter of pressing these things together. Now, I might have to come up with something to press them with, because from what I understand, these take a little bit of pressure to get in. Yeah. Okay, so that. Give me 1 second and I will come up with a way to press all those parts together. Alright, so I'm going to use this little clamp here. I just kind of set it in there. And that should give me the pressure that I need just to push it together. There we go. And a nice rubber on the clamp. Makes it so it doesn't damage anything. And we got our first piece on. Next thing we need is this piece. Now, from what I understand, that was press nib A into the part of B. Next, the twist mechanism, which is this. Into here. And we're going to use the same clamping. Now it says to While pressing the twist mechanism into place, test position by extending the pen tip and noting its location. So I'm assuming that I'm going to need to put this in here. Okay, I'm guessing it's got to go deeper since it doesn't stick out at all. So we'll press it in a little bit deeper. It's probably got to go to that little ring right there. Trial and error. Try it a little bit, move it a little bit. I just didn't want to put it in too far because trying to remove it was going to be a pain. So you'll see I go on and off with the clamp, moving it slightly at a time until I get it just the way I want it to be. And you'll see in just a second where the tip comes out to the length that you want it to be. And like I said, you just don't want to push it in too far because you can't pull it back out. Well, yeah, I guess you could, but I couldn't imagine how. So here we go. Yeah, I feel like that's a better tip. I don't know how well you could see it on the camera. Okay, so that is that. Once you're satisfied with the position, slide the center ring over the twist, which is this here. We're going to slide that over. Okay. And join the two sections by pressing together by hand. Okay, so this shouldn't need a press. This should just slide together. Okay, which it did. Slid together. And then slide clip G onto the post, which is right here, and press it into one of the open ends of the cap, which is right here. And that is going to need to be pressed. So again, we will use our handy dandy clamp. Now they make a pen press, but having never really done pens before, I never had a need to buy one. And this appears to work just fine. All right. It looks like we have a pen. I really like the spalting. Came out nice. Got my little tip that comes out. And let's see how it writes. It feels nice in the hand. Cool. And that, my friends, is my very first pen turned on the lathe. All right, everybody, that is it for today's video. The pen is complete. It was really fun. I enjoyed making it. I have another pen kit, so I'm going to make another one of these. But in the meantime, yeah, that's pretty neat. I think that's a pretty nice pen. I'm pretty happy with it. So thanks for joining me. If you like what you saw, please hit that like button. Subscribe. Check me out. I'm going to have some more stuff coming up here in the future. I've got another kit that I want to work on coming up real soon. That is probably going to be my next video. But there it is. Thanks for joining me today. And I appreciate all you guys who watch me and hit that like button. It really helps me out. So we'll see you next time here in the workshop. Take care now.